Hi, my name is Mike Barley, and I'm with the Associated Builders and Contractors, Indiana, Kentucky chapter. I am the master trainer, master instructor for the e-learning electrical apprenticeship program. And if you're watching this video, it is assumed that you're here because it's time for orientation for the 2026-2027 school year. So let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go through some of the basic procedures, protocols, how the online platform operates, and that sort of thing. Now, some of you are returning students, some of you are brand new students, some of you may be transfers from other programs. So if you are a returning student, just bear with me because there are going to be some nuggets of information in here that even though that you're returning and have some experience with this, will be insightful for you. So here we go. Orientation. So as I'd said, first of all, I'll be your contact regarding education as far as this program is concerned. Quick background, I'm a master electrician, master trainer, and instructor and educator. I'm also an author, quite frankly, of some of the books that will be used in this program. I am the owner of a company called Electric Lab, and we do predominantly hands-on learning and training of that sort. And we're going to explain that out, how that's going to work for you. So this is a federally approved apprenticeship program. To complete this program as an electrical apprentice. Now, let me say, there are people in this program that are electrical apprentices. There are people in this program that are electrical administrators, project engineers, or some type of support staff in your company. And there are really two pathways here, but I feel I can orientate the group as a whole using the same PowerPoint and just explaining some things out. So listen carefully. But to complete this program as an electrical apprentice, you must attend all 4 years of school, complete each and every assignment, work in the field a total of 8,000 hours, and complete as many skill competencies as possible. As an electrical administrator, project engineer, or support staff, you must attend 2 years of school. We have made an upgrade to our program for those who are in this and are not intending to be a federally approved apprentice and are completing all the criteria of the federal laws as far as apprenticeship program. Those that are in the administrative type position or project engineer will be doing an accelerated type program. That is not available for the electrical apprentice. The electrical apprentice has to complete all 4 years, as we're describing. And of course, everybody has to complete all the assignments. Now, what about a license? Well, that is predominantly going to be for the electrical apprentices wishing to seek a license, and that all can depend on what state you're in and what the requirements or rules are. But all curriculum in this program leads to preparing you to take the journey level licensing exam. Requirements for that exam vary state to state. You would need to check with the licensing officials in the state you are in or would like to become licensed in. We will have ongoing discussion about this as the course progresses. You'll notice I'll probably mention who knows how many times in our lecture that we'll be doing in online that we guide towards you being able to pass your exam and talk teaching strategies, much of the time for those going to this point. The course schedule and details. You will need a computer or laptop device to be a part of this program. Using a cell phone as your electronic device is unacceptable. You need a minimum of a tablet. It really should be a laptop. And the reason I say that is because there are videos, graphics, things like that you need to be looking at on a larger screen, which is going to, first of all, unfold better as far as the software, and secondly, better for you to actually take in what the information is if you have an appropriately sized screen that you can see it on. You'll receive all communications via text and email. To get the information to even find this video, you probably got it through a text or an email. We will communicate any schedule changes, anything in general will become through a text or email. And oftentimes you'll get both. If I send out a message, I will send out a text and an email. Now here is the schedule. We have specific dates for virtual meetings, we'll call them, throughout the school year. Now, tonight is the only night, or excuse me, I'm recording this for those who didn't come to the virtual meeting for orientation. But for those who are that are outside of that, that's what this video is for. The orientation meeting was August 25th, 6 p.m. The levels 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, each one of those dates is specifically for that class level. So if we're meeting on, it says September 28th, that will be specifically for level 1, and the teaching will be based on level 1 curriculum. And level 2 is meeting on the 29th, the same thing, and so on and so forth. Meeting dates are subject to change. Things can happen throughout the school year, and I manage a variety of different things for the ABC, among other things, and things do happen. I will typically send out a notice with a link, a day or leave it a couple of days in advance, so you can save that and be prepared for the meeting. But this schedule was sent out along with a document with your books before the start of the school year. Now, I'll say this just while I'm at that point. We've had record enrollment this year. We've had record amount of students that really were dropped into the program at the last minute. All of your books have been mailed directly to your home address that you provided when you enrolled. So if you have not received them yet, perhaps you are a new student, or you were simply happened to be a part of the log jam, I'll call it, of students coming into the program, and as we're shipping out books, might have got behind. So I would say give it maybe at least 10 days after the August 25th, and if you have not received your books then feel free to send me an email and we'll do some checking into it. But I'll explain also that the books, predominantly the books, are online in the Capacitor, the online platform we're using. Now, the learning platform. First of all, we're using two resources. We're using the Capacitor platform from Mike Holt Enterprises, and we are using the for hands-on learning material from Electric Lab. Those are our primary resources, other than, of course, the NFPA 70, which is the National Electrical Code. So, first of all, you are responsible for completing all assignments. Don't get behind. If you stay on top of these, as curriculum organizer for this program, you have, in my opinion, an organized amount of material that you should be able to complete in a reasonable amount of time. You let it snowball on you and you don't stay on top of it, then yeah, that's going to escalate the degree of difficulty. If you jump in there every week and get your assignments done, you should have no problem completing the material. It doesn't matter what level you're in, you should have no problem completing the material in an appropriate amount of time. All the work will be done on our online platform Capacitor from Mike Holt Enterprises. We will use the curriculum platform Capacitor from Mike Holt Enterprises, and this will be the primary home base for all learning. And this is what the platform looks like. And we're going to go through and kind of explain how to navigate it, but I invite you to get on there, look around, click some buttons, find stuff, make sure you understand where everything is. In particularly, notice where it says Code Graphic of the Day. That's a place that you should visit daily, because that is going to help you get familiar with the National Electrical Code, because they put a new nugget on there, a new graphic, a new question on there every day, and it will help you begin to get familiar with the code or advance your knowledge in the National Electrical Code. So you will receive an email from Mike Holt Enterprises, and I believe it says Associated Builders and Contractors, perhaps on behalf of Mike Holt Enterprises, asking you to set up an account. You'll need to do that and get your account set up as quickly as possible if you haven't already. If for some reason you haven't received that by the time you're viewing this video, you can contact me, and that is my email right there, mike@abcindianakentucky.org. And I'll kind of stop for a second and pause and give you the opportunity to write that down if for some reason you don't have it. But that is how we will communicate if you need to contact me. Now, I'm going to show you how you can send a message through Capacitor also, but email, message through the Capacitor, either way, that is the way to do it. Now, once you get on the Capacitor, you'll notice where the red arrow is, it says, for example, first year learning, enter class. That's where you click, and then you will see a screen similar to this, and then you click enter class. Each one of those down through there where it says JJ Safe, personal protective equipment, JJ Safe, electrical safety, each one of those is an assignment. You click on that, and there will be a teaching, there will be reading, there will be videos, there will be questions to be answered. That is the heart and soul of the electrical curriculum for this program. That's where you go for your assignments. Also notice up here in the top right hand corner where the blue arrow is, it says quiz. As you go through many of these assignments, it'll say quiz 1 through 10 or however many questions there are, and you have to answer those questions in order for it to let you advance. Now, review material. In the toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen, under review material, when you click on it, this is a huge resource of various books that Mike Holt Enterprises has on their platform. Not only ones that are related to your particular program level, but there are other ones that you have access to, even if you're maybe even a first-year student. So as you look on the screen here, you can see a lot of those icons say 2020 Apprenticeship Supplement, 2020 Bonding and Grounding, 2020 Exam. Make sure any of the material you're looking at is 2023. But if you click on those, it'll take you to that book where you can see that book in electronic form and read it. So if you're out of town, you're on the road or whatever, and you want to catch up on some reading and your studies, you can access those even if you don't have your book back with you. Your grades. So you can also view your grades, but I want to explain how that actually works. So if you click on grades, you'll see all of this listing. Now this shows this particular student hasn't done any of the assignments yet, but it will show what assignments are completed, the score. It will also show me the time that you spent on the assignment. See where it says 2 minutes there, and then all the rest of them are zeros. So I can tell how much time you spent on an assignment. And if you have a bad grade and you spent, like it says there, 2 minutes on the assignment, well, we can figure out pretty easily why maybe perhaps you didn't have a good grade on it. But when you look on there, you'll see the assignments you've completed, and you'll see what your grade is up to that point. And here's the thing: once you get a bunch of assignments done, you may look on there and it says, well, I still have 20 assignments to go, but I have a 95 or a 90%. Once all the school year is done or this term is done, I go in there and click a button, and then it will revise your grades based on the amount of assignments that you've done and the ones that you haven't done. So the grade you see on there will be based on the assignments that you have completed. Once I want to harvest a grade out of there to put in the grade book, then I click on that, and then if you haven't done all the assignments, your grade is going to go down, is my point. If you want to send a message, you can get on here and you can see where the little envelope is. Click on that, and that will allow you to send an email message to me. You can also just send a straightforward message, but if you didn't catch my email address or you're wanting to send a message, you can operate on the capacitor using your cell phone. It will operate. Again, I strongly recommend you doing your studies using a laptop, but if you wanted to send a message for whatever reason or had a question, you can get on the capacitor on a phone and get on there and send a message. Now, skills competencies. I want to explain that because you're going to have a book pack and a backpack that's going to be sent to you from Mike Holt Enterprises. We put in your address that you gave when you enrolled in the program. We sent everyone's addresses to Mike Holt Enterprises, and they mailed out your books directly to that address. So that's where your books are if you haven't received them. You also will receive a box that will have books from Electric Lab, depending on your level. For example, in this picture, it says branch circuit wiring and switch control. That's first year. Conduit bending, second year. Electrical control systems is third year. PLCs is fourth year. So you'll receive one of those books depending on what level you're in. You also notice to the right-hand side there, the electrical apprenticeship skills competencies. This year, only first-year students, because they would be considered the new ones, will receive the Electrical Apprenticeship Skills Competencies book. Specific skills must be identified as having been experienced to confirm an individual has the appropriate knowledge and skills to be considered a completer of the program. Lab experiences are not a part of your grade, but they are expected to be conducted on the job site. It is our hope that your company will provide these experiences. We have provided the skills competencies books so you can create a log and checklist for those experiences. As you go through your 4-year apprenticeship as an apprentice, then you're completing each one of those as you go along, and you can have your supervisor sign them, and it's a document when you complete your apprenticeship that you've completed all of those hands-on experiences. We all know this is a distance learning type scenario, and ultimately you need to know the physicality of how to do this job if you're going through this to be an apprentice and want to be a licensed electrician. And this is how we ensure, despite the fact that we're doing the distance learning model here, that you're actually doing the hands-on also. As an apprentice, some specific skills will be hard to arrange to experience, and these are expected to happen over the 4 years of apprenticeship. We will have a lecture on various hands-on tasks such as branch circuit wiring and conduit bending, and we will have some demonstrations in some of our virtual meetings. So, be ready for that. Review those materials also, and you'll find assignments in Capacitor for hands-on experiences for you to go through the study portion of it anyway. Office personnel, project engineers, or other support staff that are in our program are not expected to complete these experiences. That doesn't mean that you can't, but you are not completing the program as a federally approved apprentice, so those are not considered a requirement of your experience. The idea, and I'll back up for a second and explain for those who might be wondering, why are these people even in the program? The reason being is that some companies have people like this in the programs because they want them to understand material, they want them to understand National Electrical Code, and for them to be as knowledgeable about the trade that we are installers of and the company business is of, so they can maximize their knowledge about the trade. I think is a great part, and we really have created a separate pathway for those individuals, and then we have our apprentices who are full-blown going towards completing their apprenticeship and licensure or what have you, and becoming a journeyman. Now, this is another website, and this is Electric Lab's website, electriclab.org, and I just wanted to point it out because if you would go to it, and you'll notice at the top of the homepage here at electriclab.org, there's a button that says YouTube. If you go to that, that will take you to the YouTube for Electric Lab, and there are also videos that are teaching nuggets and things like that on that platform, in addition to what's on Capacitor. So you have a couple of different resources here for learning. You are, despite the fact that you're in an e-learning or distance learning program, you are by no means short on resources for learning. Use the resources provided. Electric Lab, Capacitor, and each class session is filled with opportunity for learning. Use it. Think about what is happening on the job site. Get the most from your apprenticeship years of schooling. Engage in as many types of work as possible. I know that may be difficult to do. You don't control your assignments of where you are, but when possible, ask for those experiences. Failure to complete assignments on Capacitor by the due date will result in a less than desirable grade. Assignments equals hours. All work must be done to advance and/or graduate. This program depends on you putting forth the effort to ensure completion of all coursework. All work, you want to write this date down, all work must be complete and submitted by April 15th. You must have an overall grade of 70% or better to pass the course. There will be no exceptions. We will not extend it past April 15th. I believe we are giving out a grade at the midterm, which will be at Christmas time, and there'll be a certain amount of assignments opened up between now and Christmas, and you're expected to complete all of those. Okay, so let's say you don't get all of them done. Well, then at Christmas time, Merry Christmas to you, you're going to get a less than desirable grade. but we don't block you from completing those assignments. That just means, well, so far he or she has not completed all the assignments, and therefore their grade is this. But if you keep moving forward, you catch up and then complete all the assignments by April 15th, you could go from a less than desirable grade to an excellent grade. You just, at that point, that was the temperature taking of your grade situation at that point, and it was not good then, but you pulled it out and got it done at the end of the school year. So your books are your responsibility. We're working to get them out to everyone. And we, as I'd said, I want to stress that first of all, you're going to get two packages, one from Mike Holt Enterprises and another one from Electric Lab. If you have not received them yet, do not despair. We've had a tremendous amount of issues, including some students who we didn't have address information on them at the time they enrolled, or it was delayed for some reason that's above my pay grade. To be honest with you, I'm not sure why, but our intent is to get everybody's books out to them. So you might have to give us a little extended time. The great thing about Capacitor is that the majority of these books are on there. The J.J. Keller book, which is the construction site safety book, is not on there. And the Fluke book for digital multimeters, that book is not on there. I think every other book is on there. The Electric Lab books are not on there, at least not yet. We're in discussions about that. So only first-year students receive a 2023 NFPA 70 code book, along with a set of tabs. If you're transferring in, we did not send out code books to anyone above the first year because they're the new students, right? So it is my assumption if you transferred in from another program, you're more likely to have a code book. Nevertheless, I would think anywhere in the country, you probably have a 2023 code book, I would hope. Next year, just fun facts, FYI, we will advance to the 2026 NEC. And to give you an idea, we are in the Kentucky area, in southern Indiana area. That's where we are at. So a lot of our conversations will be about code and licensing and things that are occurring in this region. Your success is your responsibility. So your level of knowledge will likely determine your level of financial success in the future. That's very, very true. Many people think online learning will be easier. I know people drop into this program all the time because they think, I'm going to do that. Then I don't have to show up to class every week. In reality, there is more responsibility on the student in this environment because if you were in one of my classes, face-to-face class sessions that I teach, you're coming in there every week and I'm spoon feeding this to you a little bit at a time. As a student in online learning, it's up to you. Now, that doesn't mean you can't ask questions. There's a way to ask questions online, and you'll find it. If you're going through an exercise or an assignment, you can ask questions to the folks at Mike Holt. You can ask questions. You can send an email to me and ask me questions. I'm talking code questions, theory questions, questions about what we're learning. We can ask those. You can ask those questions, and we'll do the best we can to get answers back to you. I always say give me 24 hours because I'm always checking my email, but I'm in and out of a lot of classes and a lot of other stuff. So, I may not be just sitting there waiting to shoot an answer back to you 5 minutes later. But the burden is on the student in a much higher level way in e-learning because you're out there and you're rolling through these assignments. It's your responsibility to say, hey, I got a question. I need an answer about this. You have resources, but you just have to give us time to respond. Okay, so that will conclude our orientation. And I just want to emphasize in closing that be sure and contact us if you have any questions. I understand we have the distance here regarding communication, and we want to be a resource to you, be available to you, and all of that. You can communicate through the capacitor. You can send me an email at mike@abcindianakentucky.org. We also have provided the dates and times of when you have deadlines and things like that. But any questions at all, don't hesitate to contact us. Email is going to be our best way to do that. So be sure and let us know if you're having any issues. And thank you for watching.